Welcome back to my channel. I'm Angelica, and it's been a few months since I last uploaded, but it doesn't matter because we're getting a video out today so I can text my boyfriend back, which I have not done a video on, but I have to because he's part of my manifestation and my vision board, and it's pretty amazing. I'm out of here, bitches. Bye. And like, this is so real. Like, I could just start crying right now. Like, I'm manifesting what I wanted, and it's amazing. Like, it's just, it's amazing. So I need to do a separate video on that, but for today, I have had this table here. This is like such a weird video idea, but I freaking love it. And I got it from Aaron Doughty. If you haven't checked out his channel, I'll link it in the bio. Or maybe not bio, that's Instagram. I will link it in the description below. But yeah, he does a video basically on destroying that limiting belief of I'm not worthy. Watching his video and going through my own life, I have just kind of realized that like I have had that limiting belief and it has held me back my whole life. And so I just felt like that would be such a fun idea, is to just, you draw on each one of these legs, you come up with what all four of the ideas are that's holding up the belief of I'm not worthy. And so I'm going to go through 4 of those supporting legs and meanings that I've been holding on to that I need to just completely get rid of. And I think I have been getting rid of, and that's why this table is not already standing very well. And I think my life, I have been destroying those limiting beliefs before I broke this table. So this is just like the final hurrah. Okay, so essentially my first meaning that holds up the I'm not worthy limiting belief is this one experience that I had in 2nd or 3rd grade in elementary school, where we were all brought into an assembly. Basically, like, the entire school brought in the whole group of between K to 5th graders. They brought them all into an assembly and like put something up on like the overhead, or whatever you call it, the screen that everybody was watching, and it said, "Do not do this." And so I had done something that had to do with that. And I felt super shamed for it because all of a sudden, like, friends that I had been with, like, they had all like turned back around and looked directly at me. And like, just this whole huge thing happened in 2nd grade. I don't really want to go so super in depth about it, but basically, like, that whole experience is just like, I've held on for that for so long. I guess like I've just given it a meaning of like shame, and that like I deserve to feel like dirt, like I'm not worthy because I did something wrong. What I need to understand is that the school was just putting on that assembly to stop the behavior from happening. They weren't directly shaming me. They weren't directly saying you're not worthy, you know, like, it has nothing to do with me as an individual. It was stopping a behavior from happening going forward, which is so much more understandable, and it makes a whole lot more sense when I look at it that way. So that is definitely a huge part that's been impacting me for my whole life, and just like coming to that realization and understanding it now, I think it'll make a huge impact and a huge difference in my life once I can like really get over that hump. And I think I'm there now. Like, it's time to just move past the assembly drama that has been manifesting terrible things and attitudes and things that I don't want in my life. So, alright, so next, the second leg holding up this whole idea of I'm not worthy. The fact that my parents got divorced when I was so young, I want to say 3 years old. And at that time, I was just so impressionable, and like, I mean, at that age in general, you are impressionable and you take everything as if it's your fault. So I just think that like going through a divorce at such a young age, and like my parents splitting and everything being divided, and like going to school, I don't know, I just, the whole divorce thing, I think, also had an impact on me feeling that I'm not worthy. Just to keep it short and sweet, I mean, the divorce was something that I internally decided that I'm the reason why my parents were divorced and didn't work out. Unlike some of my friends who had, you know, parents who were happily married, it was like their birth mom and they lived with their birth mom their whole lives, and I wasn't one of those. And so I had internalized it as if it was my fault. But the new meaning that I really need to give that whole experience is that it's not my fault, and I'm glad that my parents aren't together anymore, because they should not be together. They definitely don't make a good couple, I'll put it that way. But essentially, my parents weren't meant to be together, and it wasn't my sister and my fault personally why they got divorced. It was the universe breaking it up because it was like, okay, we're done with this. This is not supposed to be this way. Alright, so my third one is abandonment. Between my parents like getting divorced and with codependency, I really struggled with this one. Like, if I'm really gonna go in depth about it, I was codependent, like needed. I was one of those in relationships who just needed so much from my partner in order for me to feel like worthy. And like, that's where I think I'm making such a huge transformation in my life right now, is because I'm just recognizing that it comes from within, and you should be only dependent on yourself, and that you can get everything that you need from within, and like, you don't need anybody else. And I think that part of that stems from, I mean, a lot of things with my childhood that I don't need to go into on YouTube, but like, just looking into like past traumas and like really searching from my childhood, I found that codependency was a huge problem for me, and I've definitely grown out of it. I'd say now I'm very proud of where I am in my life right now. But that was definitely holding me back for a very long time, and like part of the legs holding up the core belief of I'm not worthy. It's time to not have that in my life anymore. I don't need to be codependent, and I am so glad that I've learned that lesson now. It's time to move up in my life, and to move up with the support of myself, and that's all that I need to move forward. I just believe that I needed someone to complete me in my life, like needing someone there, and like constantly being on Tinder and like swiping and like looking for someone to give me attention. Like, I was so that person, and it was very sad. I'm not that person anymore. I don't need anybody. And guess who came into my life right when I decided to give up on that? Dan! I had that core belief of I'm not worthy, and then like the legs were I need someone in my life to complete me. I need someone to make me happy, and then also just I will do whatever it takes to make someone else make me feel validated. That is a big one. That's a big one that I learned in my last job, where it was just like, I will literally do anything and everything, I will risk whatever to try and seek validation from outside. And what I've learned in my last job is that no, like, you set your own boundaries, you set everything that you, like, you decide, you're the ruler and controller of your life. So you can't let somebody else dictate whether you feel worthy and validated or not. And so that's where, like, this, I just can't wait to break this leg off because this is a big one that I've just totally beaten up over the last few months, and probably the last year. I'd say it took me to like really understand that I cannot be codependent, and I cannot seek from outside myself, and to just seek from within. Because once I started to seek from within, my whole life changed. Pretty damn quick too. Like, seriously. This last one is fear of judgment. This one really was another big one too, because like, if I sensed that somebody had a poor judgment of me, or like they thought of me in a negative way at all, it just ate me up inside, and like, I could not focus on anything else. All I could focus on was trying to like basically manipulate the way that they thought about me, and like change my actions to change their perception of me. And that is warped and just terrible. The fact that I even like was doing that with it, I didn't realize like I was purposely doing that, but it was like my subconscious was trying to help me be happy, which I've actually just listened to in an Audible, Psycho-Cybernetics. But regardless of that, it was like my subconscious was trying to help me be happy, and the only way for me to be happy was to seek validation from outside. And if somebody had a poor view or like judgment of me, then that I couldn't be happy. And so it was like, to break that, and like to break that mold is a massive improvement for me and a massive transformation in my life. And so saying it out loud, it's like, wow, like, good job, Angelica. Like, you're making huge improvements in your life. So I'm proud. I'm very proud. But my new meaning for fear of judgment is that other people's opinions of me, whether they're good or bad, they don't affect my personal worthiness. Every single person on this planet is worthy, and they just need to seek that from their own perspective. I will not manipulate situations anymore to help me feel better about somebody else's judgment of me. If they don't like me, they don't like me, and that's it going forward. So that's my new meaning. So now that I've put all the legs on here, the last piece of this, with all these legs holding up, is the core belief of I'm not enough. And we're about to break that shit, so let's go downstairs.
What a great throw, Angelica. Yeah, just break them off one at a time like you wanted to. Yeah, you just have to break them off, like twist them off, break them off.
Yeah! Okay. Yeah. Just do a skin.
Okay, you just broke the whole table, Angelica.
Okay. Woohoo! Parents divorce. This is actually kind of fun and therapeutic.
That's a little...
Look how cheap this is. Okay, so I think we've proven the point that we can't hold up the core belief of I'm not worthy anymore. Thanks for watching. Just saying.